Oh, man, I've been talking with no sound this whole fucking time. Unbelievable. That was like 20 minutes wasted. Thanks, Royal. Fuck. Annoying. Annoying. Anywho. All right. I'll go over what I talked about real quick. We talked about SmackDown. We talked about how they're doing the back and forth with Jey Uso in terms of will he or won't he leave the bloodline. Listen, obviously the match is written is written in the stars. It's going to be the Usos versus Roman and Solo. I do think that the actual end of the bloodline it's kind of ending how it kind of began with the whole feud with Jimmy and Jay and Roman and shit like that. So I am happy that it ends that way. I do think it should be the Usos going over Roman and Solo. Obviously, Solo taking the pin from one of his brothers because they're probably going to protect Roman. If Roman ends up taking a pin, I would die. I would die because the guy hasn't taken a pin in forever. The beginning of the match, MJF and the beginning of Dynamite tonight, MJF versus Adam Cole. Absolutely amazing match. The ending was great. They played with the time limit draw. They played the fact that these two guys tried to screw each other over like one after the other. I liked the fact that they didn't make Adam Cole out to be an idiot. He's just as squirrely as MJF is. They played into that heavy. And obviously it leaves the door open for them to fight again. I'm assuming it would be them fighting at Forbidden Door. I'm sorry, no, not at Forbidden Door. I'm assuming that's going to be at All In at Wembley. Jericho versus MJF. That's going to be a fucking stacked card. An absolutely stacked card. Because it looks like MJF is fighting Hiroshi Tanahashi, I think. But that's going to be crazy. Sammy Guevara, the guy's been a victim of some pretty shit booking, not gonna lie. They really should have leaned into him when he was a heel. When people were booing him with him and Ty, he should have gone on a pretty sizable heel run with the TNT title. Darby went on a long run, it meant something. Cody went on a long run, it meant something. Brody Lee went on a long run, it meant something. It kept on getting like hopped back and forth between Scorpio Sky, Cody, and Sammy Guevara, so it was weird. And it was like Cody would be gone for a while. He would come back, challenge for the TNT title, and win it. Like, it was really lame. I didn't like it. So, they're trying to push it to the fact that he's a new father. They're trying to make it that, obviously they don't think people will boo a guy who's going to be a newlywed and a new young father. So they're trying to use that to garner sympathy from the crowd and cheers. So it's obvious why they're leaning into that. Even Darby Allin was mentioning it. So it was definitely something that they were pushing. I do think that him fighting Jericho is a good step in the right direction to rehabilitate him as a babyface, because Jericho is the biggest asshole heel next to MJF in the company. So, it needs to happen. It needs to happen. And to be quite honest, like, the reason why they've been protecting Jericho's win-loss record for the last several years is for this exact moment. This is the time for him to start putting over guys and making it, because anyone who beats Chris Jericho, it's a big deal. Ricky Starks beat Chris Jericho is a big deal. Orange Cassidy beat Chris Jericho, it was a big deal. All those guys went on to do things. Orange Cassidy right now is having a killer run as the international champion. I don't know whether or not I like that title run in the beginning, but I sure as fuck like that title run right now. He's having great matches. He's anybody who faces him is having a great match. That's what the point of the title is. It's going to be a big deal whenever someone takes it off of him, and that's the point. It should always be a big deal when a guy loses a belt. Because if that's not the case, then what the fuck is the point of the belt? So it looks like they're gonna do probably like a tag match with La Sex Gods next week, which is Sammy Guevara and Chris Jericho's tag team. I wonder what that's gonna be like. Maybe it'll be against Darby and Sting. Who knows? They did make mention that I think Sting and Jericho, tonight was the first night in their entire careers where they both faced off, which I thought was awesome. International champion Orange Cassidy, Darby Allin, and Sting and Keith Lee defeated Mogul Embassy, which consisted of Swerve Strickland, Brian Cage, and the Gates of Agony. It was a party match. Like, this episode of Dynamite, like, I felt like there was always something going on. It felt like the old Dynamite. It felt like I wanted to watch it. There was a point where, like, I could literally just be like, I was on my phone during Dynamite sometimes, you know what I mean? In the beginning, no way. Watching every minute. Now I feel like I'm back to that point where I'm back to watching every minute. Where like I felt like that match where it was slated in the card was perfect. A lot of high octane action, guys flying all over the place, feats of strength all over the place from the big guys like Keith Lee, Gates of Agony, Brian Cage. Brian Cage coming out dressed a little bit like Retro Sting with the face paint and the tights, which was pretty cool. It was Sting and Darby Allin's team to come away with the victory. Sting still gets huge pops. I mean, that crowd went ballistic for Sting the second he came out in the Sammy Guevara segment. So really, really, really great stuff. Wardlow defeats Jake Hager. A lot of that match was in the commercial break. It really wasn't that exciting. You know, obviously this is just another notch in Wardlow's belt for his title defenses. It looks like his mountain to climb is Luchasaurus and Christian Cage. He already beat Christian Cage. Now it's on to Luchasaurus. It looks like that's going to happen at the inaugural episode of AEW Collision on Saturday. So TNT title on the line, Saturday, Collision, Wardlow versus Luchasaurus. So that should be interesting. They said your daddy's not going to be here to save you, and they cut to Arn Anderson. He's all busted open and beaten to shit. So Arn Anderson's out of the picture. We'll see what happens. A video is shown by Hiroshi Tanahashi, who said as long as MJF is the AEW champion, the title won't shine like it should. Tanahashi came very close to beating Jon Moxley last year at Forbidden Door, and he issues a challenge to MJF. They cut to Renee Paquette approaching MJF backstage. MJF is being attended by a physician in the back, and they told him it's official at Forbidden Door, which MJF declined, calling Tanahashi a rando from a rinky-dink indie fed in Japan. MJF said it won't be the first time he's no-showed a match Tony Khan has booked for him, telling Tanahashi no again. So it does look like no matter what MJF says, it looks like it's going to be Hiroshi Tanahashi versus MJF at Forbidden Door. That's going to be an amazing, amazing match. That card is going to be absolutely amazing. Renee Paquette is backstage with Orange Cassidy. She asks him what the future holds. He says, everyone knows how it works. Someone walks in and challenges him. All of a sudden, Zack Sabre Jr., the New Japan Strong TV champion, comes out, says the idea of a double champion sounds marvelous. And Daniel Garcia also walked in, wants to know where Shibata is, because Shibata is the current pure ROH Pure Wrestling champion. So it looks like Orange Cassidy and Shibata versus Zack Sabre Jr. and Daniel Garcia next week on Dynamite. What a fucking match. Toni Storm defeats Sky Blue to retain the AEW Women's Champion. Sky Blue won the four-way on Rampage between Mercedes Martinez, Nyla Rose, Britt Baker, and Sky Blue herself. She comes away with the victory. She ended up losing tonight. Obviously, there was no way Sky Blue was going to beat Toni Storm for the belt. They did get the crowd to kind of go for a couple of near falls at the end. Obviously, there's a point where the ref was distracted. Sky Blue hit her finisher, and she had the visual pin, right? And so it was pretty crazy stuff. Oh, wait, hold on 1 second, guys. The hydraulic on the bottom of the screen door is broken. So like when you open up the big door, it's fine, but the glass door, open up carefully on the bottom, you can see it hanging. So just be careful. It's like a white cylinder. I'll flip the light on the video so you can see it better. You'll see what I'm talking about the second you open up the wood door. Yeah. Like, yeah. See the thing on the bottom? How it's like on the floor? Yeah, just be careful. Alright, sorry about that. All right, so yeah, Toni Storm wins. There was no way, obviously, Sky Blue was gonna win, but you know that ended up working out. Renee Paquette is backstage with Hook and Jack Perry. They said the Summer Jungle Hook is in full swing. Jack Perry said he felt naked without any gold around his waist because he's next to Hook, who's the current FTW champion. So he so actually there was I can't believe I skipped this in my notes. I'm sorry, but Sonata puts out an open challenge for the IWGP Heavyweight Champion. Jack Perry accepts the challenge. Forbidden Door, Sonata, Jungle Boy for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. That should be a great match. Finally, the end of the show, Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, and Hangman Page defeat Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, and Wheeler Yuta from the Blackpool Combat Club. This match was awesome. Towards the end, at the end of the match, Claudio and Moxley attacked Nick and Matt Jackson, and they toss him over the barricade, and Eddie Kingston's music hits, and this crowd erupts. Runs out, does a double leg takedown to Claudio. Everyone's beating the shit out of one another. Yuta ends up getting destroyed. Moxley and Kingston have a face-off. The Bucks attack Moxley. Konosuke Takeshita hits the ring to attack Kingston. Kenny Omega hits the ring to attack Takeshita. Snapdragon suplex. The Bucks and Hangman took out the Blackpool Combat Club, all with dives. Right when Omega was about to do the dive for his patented Terminator dive, Will Ospreay comes out of nowhere, beats the shit out of Omega, hits him with a hidden blade. Bryan Danielson shows up. He says that Ospreay is going to be the winner at Forbidden Door. Then Ospreay hits Omega with the Stormbreaker. Don Callis shows up. They're all happy with Ospreay beating the crap off of everybody. Then Ospreay got another hidden blade off before the show went off the air. Unbelievable ending. Forbidden Door is going to be crazy. This week on Rampage, Will Ospreay will be in action. Collision as it stands right now, CM Punk and the AEW Tag Team Champions FTR face Switchblade Jay White, Juice Robinson, and the ROH Television Champion Samoa Joe. Wardlow defends the TNT title against Luchasaurus. Miro comes back to the ring, which I'm super excited for. I love the Redeemer. Sky Blue and the New Japan Strong Women's Champion Willow Nightingale face AEW Women's Champion Toni Storm and Ruby Soho. And Buddy Matthews faces Andrade El Idolo, the returning Andrade, on Collision. Dynamite for next week as it stands is the International Champion Orange Cassidy and the Ring of Honor Pure Champion Katsuyori Shibata face New Japan Television Champion Zack Sabre Jr. and Daniel Garcia. Guys, I don't know about you, but AEW is hitting all the right buttons with me. I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. I apologize for half of the freaking podcast being on mute. I don't know why it defaults to that. Maybe that's something I did the last time. I've been playing around with the settings on this for some time, so I do apologize. I'll be a lot better next time. Technical difficulties, my friends, technical difficulties. But thank you to Royal for pointing that out. I'm pretty sure my wrestling chat who watches this will never let me live it down. So, thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. I will see you Saturday, 10 p.m. on this YouTube channel. AEW Collision, the first episode. What will CM Punk say? What will the matches with Miro and Andrade be like? What other surprises are in store? Is there going to be more of a build to Forbidden Door and All In? We will find out soon enough. Thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you on Saturday.